Hey everybody, it's John from Seattle Coffee Gear. Here today I have the Rock Espresso Boxer Timer in the 1 group, and we're going to do a crew review of it today. So let's go ahead and jump in. As I mentioned, this is the Rocket Espresso Boxer Timer 1 group. This is the 220 volt version of this machine. Comes in a 110 version and a 220 volt version. And this timer on the face is the new addition. A little while ago, we posted a video for the 2 group version of this, but this machine is a little bit different, has some unique applications. So we thought we'd do a crew review of the 1 group as well, so you can see both and learn a little bit about those different applications. It's pretty similar to the last generation. That was the non-timer version. So you still have your 2 steam wands here. Those are both insulated. It's a pretty unique feature for these machines, at least for 1 groups. Hot water is still right here, and that still has the mix valve. So it is temperature controlled by a little valve underneath the drip tray here. I can show you that real quick. You can see that. Pop this up. So right down here is the cold water mix valve. You might not be able to see it, but you can just trust me that it is right there. Put that back in. This drip tray comes off as well for easy cleaning. And the power switch is right down here. And these machines all do have volumetrics, so a volumetric hot water, and then you have 4 programmable buttons for your different volumetric options. So that all stays pretty similar. The main difference with this machine is the timer. So now when you are pulling a shot, it's automatically going to count, and then when you stop, it'll stop that time, and it will not reset that until you start another shot. So it seems like a simple thing, but that is a huge added benefit when it comes to training, because that makes it super easy to train new baristas if they don't have to start a timer or be counting in their head or just wondering how long a shot's pulling for. It's always right here, kind of in front of them. And then also if you're trying to do consistency checks or quality checks, this is a good check, so you can just look over at the machine if you're training a new barista and know that this time is accurate and they can't really fake it. So you know your espresso is staying dialed. The reason we wanted to do a different video for the 1 group over the 2 group is this machine does seem to be a pretty popular machine for mobile applications, because it has a lot of working space. So compared to some of the other machines, like the Linea Mini is another popular machine for mobile applications. Obviously that's a dual boiler. This is a heat exchanger. You do have a lot more working space here. You have 2 steam wands and you have volumetrics. So the temperature isn't going to be quite as stable as a dual boiler would be, but you do have the addition of volumetrics. So your consistency does have a boost over some of those dual boiler machines that don't have volumetrics and don't have these time-saving features where you have more space and all that sort of stuff. So it's a pretty simple machine overall. Like I mentioned, it is a heat exchanger, so this has been sitting for a little bit, so there is some superheated water in that heat exchanger. So I can purge that out until I no longer hear that crackling. And then once I stop it, I'm pretty positive that's in a good range. So that was about a 6 to 7 second purge for that. If you're using the machine in daily flow, you're pulling a shot, knocking it, and doing all that, it's going to stay in a solid temperature range. It's really only if the machine sits, like it's been doing here, that you'll have to be thinking about a purge. That's pretty similar on all machines in this class, like the Appia, the Class 5, Class 7, even some of the Class 9s from Rancilio. A lot of those machines are using that heat exchanger design, so just be aware of that there is that purge involved there. Spin that so it's right up in there. Well, that covers pretty much all the features of it. One thing I didn't mention was your pressure gauge here. So you have your pressure at the group, and then you have your boiler pressure, your service boiler pressure right here. That's controlled by a P-stat, not a PID, which is pretty consistent across all heat exchanger commercial machines. It's pretty rare to find one that is controlled by a PID. One thing I do want to mention here is we do have a different steam tip on this side. This is part of the Rocket Accessories kit, steam tips. You have 4 different options. So I think this is the one that's a 3-hole on this side here, and then this is the stock one that it comes with. I find that you get a little bit more control with these aftermarket ones than you do with the stock ones. So if you're wanting to mess around with your milk frothing and maybe get some finer texture control, these are a good bet, good thing to try out. They're not too expensive to try out either, so think about that. That covers pretty much everything here, so why don't we jump in and let's make a drink. Today I'm using some coffee from Veltens. It's a single origin from Brazil. It's a little bit darker than a single origin than you'd typically expect. So like a light medium roast, but tastes really chocolatey, really caramely, kind of what Brazilian coffees are known for, at least in my experience. So been really enjoying it on espresso. And I do have a bottomless portafilter here that we are using. And we are using some of the IMS baskets that are now coming on the R9 and the Dopia. So that's going to be a little bit different, but you can get the full stainless portafilter that comes with those machines and use it on this machine no problem. So keep that in mind. I'm dosing about 20 grams with this and trying to get about 40 grams out. Nice and level. Flip that over, no cracks. One last purge, sounds good. I didn't get a chance to program the volumetrics on this, so I'm just going to run it in manual mode. While that's running, I'm going to get a cup for espresso, cappuccino. We'll do kind of a 1-in-1 and go from there. All right, so I have my shot pulled here, 31 seconds for about 40 grams out. Because it is kind of a light medium, I went a little bit further, just extract a little bit more. Go ahead and purge my steam wand and steam some milk. So I have pretty good control over my aeration with this different steam tip. And you have a little bit more time to work on your aeration, your texturing, and get that all nice. So nice for training. I had a little bit too much milk. There we go. A nice little rosetta. Now let's try the espresso. Cheers. Yeah. Some good orange, some sugar in there. Really smooth, sweet, kind of creamy on the espresso. This has been one of my favorites for a little bit when I can have it on espresso. And let's try my kind of cappuccino thing here. That is super good. The sweetness of the espresso and the sweetness of the milk combine super well. Yeah, that's really tasty. And as you can see, the texture of the milk there is pretty great. Yeah, if you don't have any of those aftermarket steam tips and you are maybe struggling to get a little bit more time, or it's a little difficult to get time to texture your milk, might be worth looking into some of those. If you really want to invest in that and work on your latte art. Anyways, that's been a review of the Boxer one group timer machine from Rocket Espresso. Like I said, this is the 220 volt version, so it does require a slightly larger amp plug that you're going to be going into. It's about 22 or 2300 watts going to the boiler. Really a good machine for catering, for mobile environments. You can steam on both sides with this pretty easily, and it's going to be pretty difficult to outpace this machine to get that boiler pressure to drop to the point where the machine isn't usable. It's a lot of heat in that 8-liter boiler, so great machine, great little machine. It's a workhorse for sure, super reliable in the field, really easy to work on. Everything that Rocket has come to be known for on the commercial side of things. If you guys have any questions about this machine, if you want to use it for a mobile environment, or maybe you want to use it in a bar or a restaurant, those are all great applications. Please give us a call. We'd love to talk with you more about what that can look like, see if this machine is a good fit for you. We'd love to help out with that. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you want to see more of our stuff, subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications so you can see when we're releasing new videos and stuff. You can see Clem make some pretty crazy coffees. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment if you have questions. Have a great day.